there, it's Christy with the Chirp YouTube channel. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about how to help your kids become more creative when they're playing. Sometimes our children don't quite get how to play with any particular toy. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos before, I recommend having pictures of the different things that your children could request and then putting them on a piece of cardstock. And then we have a book available with an I want. Oh my goodness, my want is missing. I want with a blank space and a please, so that the child can get used to saying, I want astronauts, please. So that is a good way to start. But once your kid has all of the toys out and available to him, I have created on the other side of this requesting board a list of things that we could do with these toys. A lot of times when kids are moving from sensory play to a more open-ended sort of free play, they're not exactly sure what to do with the toys because their play skills are not as developed as another child of their age, or because play is an issue that they deal with in their development. So I've created a list of things that the children could do with this toy, such as we could fly to Mercury, we could look for a friend, we could fly to Venus, we could take pictures of a comet, we could read the newspaper, drive the buggy, look for an alien, take pictures of an alien, eat, sleep, find rocks, blast off, walk on the moon, or watch the stars. So with this one toy, those are some of the things we could do. So I might say to my child, what should we do? And my child would get to choose from these pictures what he wanted to do. And then he would get to choose whether the aliens were doing it or whether the astronauts were doing it. And we would have a grand old time doing whatever it was. And when my child started to sort of fade out and become a little bit less interested, I would say, okay, looking for a friend is finished. What should we do next? And then we would pick out something to do that is coming up. And I'm going to do a separate video on the different types of play. And this activity is a bridge between two different kinds of play. Earliest kind of play is called sensory play, and that is things like swinging, like playing with the gears. I'll put a link to the gears in this video so you can see what that looks like. Or other toys like that where there's only one way to play, and it pretty much isn't actually play, it's just enjoying a toy in a sensory way. And then there's something we call closed-ended play. And closed-ended play is something where there's only one way to do it. So for example, this little game that we play right here, where we sit on this X and we throw the beanbags and try to, yay, I got 2 points, and try to get points by throwing them. Yay, I got 4 points. There's only one way to play that game. That is closed-ended play. Now, the difficulty for kids is often moving from closed-ended play to open-ended play. And open-ended play is where you can play with a particular activity in many different ways. And sometimes children have difficulty making that transition because they just get overwhelmed by the options. And that's why this type of little direction-giving visual strategy is so helpful, because it feels a little bit like closed-ended play, but it feels also like open-ended play. And pretty soon you can get rid of the illustrations altogether and the kids can just be creative and do any range of those things that they like. So today I'm doing this little talk about the different types of play, and I thought I'd give you some examples in my classroom of different sorts of play toys. So one of the first ones I might give you an example of, I've shown you before if you have watched my channel for a while. These are rocket balloons, and the way that we play with them makes them a closed-ended play toy. There really is only one way to play with rocket balloons. So this is a closed-ended toy. You put it on. I'm not really sure if I can do this holding the camera. Maybe I can put the camera down right here on the counter and show you how it works. So what we do is we have the kids choose a color, and then we pump up the balloon. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we have the kids count down with our board. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Oopsie. And then, oh, well, there it went. So pretty much rocket balloons, there's only one way to play with it. Closed-ended play. Give you another example of closed-ended play would be bingo. My particular bingo set is an automated one where obviously you hear a frog. Oh, and now it's not going to go. So you listen to it, and my card has none of that on it. Therefore, I don't put the dot on. I hear a train, so I would put one of these here dots on it. So that is bingo, and that there's only one way to play it. So that also is closed-ended play. I have a lot of closed-ended play adventures in my classroom because most of my students have difficulty and do not have age-appropriate play skills. So it makes it very difficult for them to do open-ended play, which is a more advanced skill. Some other examples of closed-ended play are the gears game. I'll put a link to a video that I made about that, and so you'll be able to see more of what that's like. The penguin run, which I have videos on as well. Let's see what's in here. Down here is mostly more open-ended stuff. I kind of have it divided into two. Pirate. The pirate game, right here, is another closed-ended game. I have a video about that I will link to. The marble run is a closed-ended play toy. For the most part, I would say that train sets are closed-ended play. You build the train tracks and then you drive the train around it. And sometimes the track can tip over, sometimes the train can get blocked by a sheep on the track, but for the most part, you drive the train around the track. It's not very open-ended, really. My more open-ended toys are Dora's house, because yes, it's a building toy, and I have a video about how to teach play skills using Dora's house. I'll put a link to, but there are lots of different things that Dora can do once you get the house built. The farm is very similar. Once you have the animals and the farm all gotten out, the animals can eat, the animals can sleep, the animals can fight each other or chase. So there's lots of different things they can do. That's open-ended play. The dollhouse is always open-ended play because there's so many things that the family can do. Eat, sleep, drive the car, go to school, go to work, rock in the rocking chair, swing in the swing, swim in the pool. Lots and lots of things they can do. I have a lot of these little boats and people. This toy is notoriously, or these kind of toys are really unpopular in my classroom for the most part because the kids, like I said, their developmental delays make them unskilled in the area of open-ended play. And so it's really difficult for them to know how to play with these toys. They know that this is a boat and therefore they should put a treasure chest in it and they should find a pirate. But once they put the treasure chest in the boat and the pirate in the boat, they don't know what to do with it. And so once they match things up, that's all they do. And matching things up is not the same as play. I have an alien space station here, which is definitely an open-ended toy. It's very popular though because there are some closed-ended sort of activity possibilities with this toy that makes it a nice transition piece. So for example, there's a slide. A lot of my kids who have very poor open-ended play skills will just put these aliens down, climb them up, put them down, climb them up, put them down. Or they'll stand them right here, open it up, and they fall down and go through into the garage. I should shut the door and then he won't fall out. Or they just put them in here and look at their eyes through the front. There are different elements that make this a little bit easier for kids to play because there are some other activities that are easy to do repetitively that kids who can do closed-ended play but who aren't very good at open-ended play yet, this is a good toy for them. And then of course you can also sort of direct the play a little bit. So for example, you can go down the slide a couple times and then you can say, oh, I'm so tired, it's time to go to sleep. And then you put the daddy to bed and you say it's nighttime and you turn all the lights off in the room and then you sing a little goodnight song. And then you sing a good morning song and you turn the lights on and then daddy gets up. And we say, okay, where's daddy going? Is he going to school in his rocket ship or is he going to work? And the kid can tell you. And as soon as the child gets bored of your more open-ended type activities, then he'll probably go back to putting the daddy down the slide or down the trap door or whatever it is that's his favorite closed-ended part. And you can let it be a sort of a back and forth, open-ended, closed-ended mixture of types of play in the same play session is completely wonderful because it will help your child to move back and forth between those types of play a little bit easier, and it will allow your child sort of, when open-ended play becomes too overwhelming, he can back up a little bit back into the more repetitive routines that help him to feel comfortable and calm and relaxed and safe. So that is a good one for kind of transitioning between two of them. You can also use dollhouses in that transitional way because there are certain activities like putting the baby in the swing and rocking the baby back and forth, or putting the family in bed and getting them back up again. A lot of times children who don't do well with open-ended play still do well or still enjoy and can learn from toys like this because there are those routines embedded within the toys, and they don't actually do open-ended play like the mom picks up the baby and puts her in the car and they go to school together. Most of the time, if a child is mostly in the closed-ended play stage, then the mom will always do exactly the same thing. Like she'll get the mom out and put her in bed, but mom never gets out of bed. And she'll get the baby out and place the baby in the chair, but the baby will never do anything. A good example of this, with this particular toy, in fact, is a private client of mine. She was 3 years old and she had a diagnosis of autism, I believe, and she loved to play with this toy. And her parents thought that she was playing successfully with this toy. Of course, when I ask about play skills, I ask a lot more details than just, does she play with toys? And they said, oh, she loves to play with dollhouses. And when I watched her play, what she did was she put every piece of furniture in exactly the same place inside the house every single time. And then she spent all of her time rearranging all the people's knees and their arms to be exactly in the right angles. She had in her head this picture of how everything should look. She was not playing. She was lining everything up to be in exactly the same angle that she wanted it in her head. And so my work with her was to teach her what play actually is. Play is we imitate things that happen in life with the little toys that we have. So we got to put the baby to bed. And everything caused a bit of an uproar at the beginning because she didn't want any of the people to be moved. And then she didn't want the people to interact with each other. And so it sometimes can be a long process, and you definitely need a professional to help you work through those skills. But I wanted to give you an idea of some of the different types of play so that you can also be working on it at home. And this is something that you can ask when you do have a speech pathologist or a play therapist who comes to work with you. This is a good area to start asking questions about. And do your own research. I'm going to have lots of links down below this video so that you have some more reading material to check out should this topic be of interest to you. So once again, dollhouses can be good for closed-ended play because the people can do the same thing every single time, but it's not ideal for a child to get stuck in particular routines for too long, because the longer they're stuck in that routine, the more rigid they are and the more difficult it is for them to move beyond that particular routine and to be able to play in a more flexible way. And one of the problems with that is that if you can't play in a flexible way, you're not going to have good social interactions with peers, because your peers want the people to go to Disneyland and they want the baby to be happy, and then they want the baby to be sad and the sister has to comfort her, and they want the mommy to go to work and they want the daddy to take the kids swimming in the pond. And if all you want to do is line up all of the angles just right, then you're not going to be a very fun play partner for your typical peers. So that is your little helpful video for today, and keep on the lookout for other videos coming up soon. Subscribe in the lower right hand corner, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I will be back with you soon. Bye.